What you just see is that the one-shot this 3D ISS orbital tracker with real-time scholar. First of all, like this one. So this is the result that of like previous running that we have. Welcome to Office Hour 49. So today we are going to talk about a few things that have been changed in recent 2 weeks. Some highlight is what I just showed you is the agent chat stability is improved on some effective conversation. The message streaming fail will show notification, and user can continue chat in same thread as a failed message. There's some deprecated model and also workflow update improvement to enhance the security and privacy. And also there's some channel as well. So and also going to go through like what is the model that are going to be retired, and also what we have done is like some infrastructure update, and also talk a bit about our AgenticFlow content strategy, and also absolutely we will continue to go with the other series of like the Codex and Claude Code and Ishi with AgenticFlow CLI. How can you just one click in order to create like a usable workflow for your businesses? All right. So let's go with the first one on the Changelog. Anytime you can go just into doc AgenticFlow AI and go to Changelog. It will show you like here you go here and it will show you the Changelog is look like what is this release coverage, and the latest release is today, which is 9th of June. This is focusing on safer agent chat, protected upload, and also model cleanup. And you can also finding other recent office hour on this here on reliability and bug debug and supportability. So this is our main focus. We also improve on the agent workflow and workforce builder experience. So I just categorize them here so that you can also read the further details. We also adding some new like model selection and mode provider and attachment. You can also having in this office hour. For other like the desktop agent workflow has been mentioned in previously. So if you would like to read all of the changes that we make like over the year, you can go into here. I remake it again so that it will show you in a table format on date and also office hour what we have discussed. It all go back into like I think somewhere in March 2024, which is like 2 years ago, and you can read on that. If you would like to read the details of office hour, you can feel free to click on this one, and or you can browsing on the left hand side. It's also including all of the office hour that have been communicated. All right, so that's it. Let's go through the main topic of today, which is office hour 49. So let me click here. So the basically is that we focusing on kinds of like agent chat section improve, and what I just showed you before, which is in here, is that this is like the very long running task that DeepSeek V4 Flash were asked to create a like 3D ISS orbital tracker. It is a lot of token that have been generated here, and it takes quite a bit of time. Yeah, so for this one, it was like having a lot of like token have been generated. It has been like 8,000 output token that generated, and this take a bit of time because the provider that we hit into it takes some time to do the task in here. But as you can see, the current way is that sometimes previously in some occasion where you do a very long running conversation with a lot of tool call and also very long output, there may be some hanging in here, like some pay responsive, but we fix that and we totally remaking the infrastructure on this side in order to preventing the like client side app some effect. So agent chat is now more stable during long running response and tune heavy conversation, and also the failure recovery. The interface is smoother and less likely to get stuck, and better it's recovering when an agent run not complete cleanly. Also in this agent chat experience, we also having the agent chat streaming fail So sometimes that you might have some stream that have been failed. It could be due to like the model that you have been select have been deprecated, or maybe there is some other like third-party issue that is preventing the model return correctly. It could be stuck or already failed. So right now the chat interface will surface the clear navigation on message streaming and fail. If the previous message failed, the thread will remain usable, and the user can continue chatting with the same agent in the same conversation instead of have to chat over. So this makes failure easier to understand and keep conversation context intact. So next one is the agent runtime error is now visible in chat. So agent chat now give a clearer feedback when agent cannot continue because of the runtime issue. This issue can be like the agent can be configured in deprecated model. It's reached the recursion limit. The agent encounter error while processing the chat. So previously, sometimes it's going to failing silently and appear stuck. But right now the chat interface now display the issue directly and show twice in notification, so that user can understand what happened and take next step without guessing. Next one is we have received a request from a customer that sent in over. So previously, anything that you upload to the agent, even if it's public, is securely generated like a URL, and without the knowing access to that directly URL, you cannot have access to the material. But with this one, we enhance that. We are using a temporary pre-signed URL rather than long-lived direct file link. So what does that mean is that for workflow upload, right now this signed link will expire after 6 hours. So it means if you are added into your website and so on, and the end user is uploading something to you, then that link will be expired after 6 hours. And later on, even like they are having that URL, they will not be able to access it. So this will be helpful in case that you are publishing this one, and even like someone trying to guessing the URL, but because it's already passing the time of the link expire, then it's going to be protected for privacy of the customer. For agent upload, right now we are configured at 24 hours. For workflow upload, we will configure it up expire in 6 hours. So this narrow access window for upload file and keep link behavior aligned with context, which is files used. Alright, so next one I would like to talk about like deprecate model, but before that I would like to show you this one. So Gemini is currently expired on Google on June 1st 2026, and together with also Gemini Flashlight as well. So what does that mean is that currently if you are going to AgenticFlow, you will see Gemini is currently deprecated. And also together with this one, we also having the DeepSeek v3 0.2 and so on deprecated, like what we communicated like a month ago when we have v4 Flash available. So at the moment, my suggestion for you is you can go with DeepSeek v4 Flash, because it's kind of like the best model at the moment, and it's already included in your AgenticFlow. So it's also having very high score. Yeah, go into leaderboard, models, intelligence. Okay, so DeepSeek v4 Flash is actually having 1 million context window, and also is also having a very high score, 47 score, and comparing to Gemini 2, which is Gemini. Oh, Gemini is not even like 2.0. Gemini 2.0 is not even like included in leaderboard. So that is already saying that. So for now, I would suggest that you will switch over to DeepSeek v4 Flash for your users, and it will it's also including some other model that deprecated as well. So mostly around like Gemini 2.0 and also the DeepSeek model that using the old model. So my suggestion for you is going to using DeepSeek v4.0 in replacement for this model. Okay. So apart from this one, we also having identify some error that intermittently showing. So for example, like there's a URL-to-Markdown, it have been showing some error in here. So this actually happened because we was doing some infrastructure change to improve the stability and support. So during this period, actually we identified that there's something that's not working as expected. So thanks to the customer that sent this over to us during the deployment period, and we already captured this one and we fixed this. So right now you can go into the URL-to-Markdown. So the use case of this one is actually it can fetch any of the website or maybe the PDF file or things. It will turn into the Markdown, because Markdown is something that the agent is very comfortable to use. So it means this URL-to-Markdown can be a step before you are passing to the agent to do some work. Okay. Similarly, for the web scraping, this also happened during the deployment period, where we doing the infrastructure change as well. And thanks, the customer also captured this one, and we already fixed that. As you can see in here, you can actually summarize the bug fix evident in FL 39, and it can fetch information and also generating the content brief as well. Apart from that, we also doing a lot of like other improvement, like improved recovery behavior on unresponsive agent chat section. We add notification for message streaming fail. We preserve thread usability after fail chat message. We improve agent chat stability and recovery behavior. We also add visual feedback when agent use a replicate model. We also add a vision feedback for recursion limit fail. We add toss notification for agent chat runtime. There's a unprotected workflow and agent, which I already mentioned, and also other include in here. So I think that's it on the overall changelog and what is the major change on our side. So next one I would like to mention about is first one is thanks everyone. AgenticFlow YouTube channel right now is reaching 1,000 subscribers. So we upload totally around like 330 videos over over the past 12 months. So overall more than one video per working day. So toward the end of 2026, we plan to invest more on the content on YouTube in order to share with our customer the platform Changelog via office hour, and also to do more on use case series, because what we identify is that this series is somewhat quite useful, because it is kind of the practical use case that we do the research ourselves. We try to use a platform on practical use case that you can use in day-to-day or maybe your daily work. And right now we already released 19 episodes from this one already, and right now we are going to having short-term target to push it over to 50 within 2 months, and hopefully that from now until the end of the month we will try to go into I don't know, maybe 150 or 200. So because we believe that the technology is advancing a lot, but the problem is maybe user is not able to know what is the technology capable of. So that's why we are doing very heavily invested in here, and we make it very simple that instead of you are trying to learn the AgenticFlow platform, you have your Codex and Claude Code and Ishi to help you. And because we already teach these coding agent with AgenticFlow CLI, so it means you just need to copy and paste the prompt, and then it's going to be show you correctly. So today I'm going to including also some of the new video that we just cook up over 2 weeks. Is that one of the use case is about how you can add task deadline compliant pack, how you can convert cell anomaly detector, how you can convert ticket summary escalation, how you can convert visitor entry pass, how you can do daily verse email, how you can learning content curator, how can you create a cell leaderboard culture squad. So all of this one, you will find the prompt in the Changelog itself. So there is 7 blueprint prompts. So what you need to do is just following the video and just go and copy this one and paste to your Codex or Claude Code or Ishi, then you are good to go. And I think in this one we also are using Ishi in some of the video, because I think Ishi is already good enough for the use case. So you can fully utilizing your AgenticFlow subscription. And what I'm suggesting you is you can using DeepSeek to have a good result on that. Yeah, so I think that pretty much it. So the current focus is still like stabilization and also improve the platform quality, and also trying to invest more on the use case, so that you can actually getting to learn. And if you would like to start it with AgenticFlow, I would suggest that you following through our 19 video use case. And in case that you would like to have more structured approach, I was also suggesting you that going to playlist, you go into the AgenticFlow 101.
Let's explore.
So this one is like a 10 video that we curated. It will explain to you like the welcome, what is an agent, how you can build a first agent, what is a workflow, how can you build first workflow, what is the difference between an agent and workflow, what is a different integration explain for MCP, how you can set up your first MCP, what plugin is about, and how you can use plugin. So those 10 video is going to help you with some of like the fundamental use case. And after you have the first understanding, you should go into this video where we have 19 video that allow you to just one prompt to result. Absolutely, you need to spend a few minutes to set it up with your coding agent and AgenticFlow CLI. But after that, it's just one prompt. Yeah, so I think that's it. So it's good to see everyone in office hour 49, and for the next office hour will be 50. So I'm going to go back and with more chance and update for everyone. All right, so I think that's it. We'll follow with everyone, and in case wait. So in case because we just doing infrastructure change and improve stability and support higher users, so there might be some small error that we haven't catch up all of them, because yeah, infrastructure is then there's the complicated thing. And if you see anything off and you would like us to take a look on that, please send email to support@agenticflow.ai. We will put that into our backlog and review, and also give you a feedback on that. All right, good. So thanks everyone, and have a good day. Bye bye.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the AgentFlow channel. Today, we're also returning to the series on quickly creating workflows using AgentFlow CLI on an AI agent coding tool. So, we're back with Codex, and I'm going to introduce you to a prompt. This prompt, at times when your dedicated internal tax accounting team has to handle a lot of complex tax declaration paperwork and documentation, with numerous critical deadlines piling up and overlapping on top of each other, and just a single minor mistake could result in significant financial trouble for our company. This specific prompt will help you get fully prepared so that you are ready to handle these challenges with absolute confidence and precision. You don't turn AI into a tax advisor, because that's the job of a CPA. It's designed for finance teams, accountants, founders, startups, or anyone who needs to coordinate with a CPA. Once you choose to run it, this specific prompt will automatically deploy a comprehensive blueprint we've already carefully created to seamlessly integrate into your own company's existing tax calendar. This workflow will help you identify the upcoming key deadlines. It points out operational risks, filters out missing information, suggests questions and topics for meetings with the CPA, and creates a checklist for internal circulation. It's extremely simple. Just copy this prompt into Codex and run it. In this prompt, we've assumed some corporate information and legal areas, upcoming deadlines, the person in charge, and a note categorizing any missing personnel. The prompt also clearly states that it is absolutely important not to provide any legal or tax advice, but only to offer operational reminders, risk warnings, and questions for the CPA. So in the end, this workflow will produce an output in the form of a deadline table, a summary of risks, a list of missing information, questions for the CPA, and an internal circulation checklist. Of course, to use this prompt, you need to install Agentic Cloud CUI on your machine. You can refer back to previous videos for instructions. You can use this prompt not only in Codex, but also in Claude Code or even Ishi. The standard operating procedure involves Codex carefully evaluating and verifying if our COI is consistently stable and is functioning exactly as it should be. Then it will start by creating a new test workflow, running that specific workflow, and displaying the detailed results directly on the Codex interface. We can then cross-check these findings by going to the AsticFlow workflow to thoroughly review the entire process. Depending on your specific organizational requirements, I highly recommend that you experiment by executing this specialized prompt we've carefully prepared, observe the resulting data, and then visualize and connect it with your company's actual business needs to determine the most effective way to transform this workflow into something truly useful that can successfully replace some of the monotonous and repetitive daily tasks you currently have to do. Now, by saving time, we can see that the workflow has been deployed with the idea mentioned above. All right, so now I'll run a test to see if the output is good or not. Thank you so much for watching our video today. We really hope you enjoyed the content and found it helpful. Please remember to subscribe for more updates, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Here, the prompts and blueprints we create will prioritize using the built-in nodes of AgenticFlow, so you can rest assured that when it runs, it will only consume credits from AgenticFlow, not from your PixelML credits. This validation has been successful. Now let's see how the code runs and what the results are. Thank Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. We truly appreciate your support and hope that you found the content helpful and engaging. If you enjoyed what you saw, please stay tuned for more updates coming your way very soon, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next installment. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day ahead. Okay. All right. We can see that the result is a deadline table listing what needs to be done. Then there's a risk summary, which we can cross-reference here to see what needs to be added or redo something to make sure we don't encounter or receive this risk. There are some CPA questions and some actions for the internal team. All right, let's take a look at what the main workflow looks like. The main workflow of AgenticFlow is displayed. We will see a workflow that is created with just one node. You might want to think about using this specific idea to further develop and adapt for your company's unique and specific operational requirements. You can easily change the model by clicking this button here to bring up a comprehensive drop-down menu and select the exact model you want, such as Game 3 or Game 4, for example, and depending on your preference. In this interface, you will have the single run section, and you will also have the history section, where you can review all of your successful sessions. Furthermore, you can see the specific input data that we have already pre-created for you within the Chrome browser, and you can examine the results. Thank you all. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. If you have any concerns, feel free to comment. And if you find this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching until this point. Finally, goodbye and see you again. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the AgenticFlow channel. And today we're also returning to the series on quickly creating workflows using AgenticFlow CLI. And of course, we'll be creating workflows on AgenticFlow. In today's session, we'll be utilizing advanced AI agent coding tools to streamline our development process. Specifically, in this episode, we're going to return to the Codex platform along with the latest DBT version 5.5, and I'll introduce you to a highly specialized prompt that helps convert the sales anomaly detector logic. This comprehensive workflow will assist you in critical cases where, quite suddenly and unexpectedly, this week's sales numbers might drop sharply in a certain geographic area, but unfortunately, no one in the organization notices the discrepancy until we finally perform a full manual summary of the data. This specific prompt will help you in identifying those critical anomalies much earlier, and it is particularly suitable for professional finance teams, dedicated revenue operations departments, or indeed anyone else who needs to closely monitor fluctuating weekly sales figures on a regular basis. So when you run this, with this prompt, you'll input data about weekly revenue. This workflow will calculate the percentage change for each segment, mark any unusual fluctuations, suggest investigative questions, and draft an email to issue warnings and highlight important information for the finance team to pay attention to. The process itself is actually incredibly straightforward, just like we have done before. You simply need to copy and paste this specific prompt directly into the interface and let Codex run. In other words, you can think of this prompt as creating a sophisticated automated workflow for you, and that workflow acts as a highly effective detector for any potential anomalies in your sales data. It helps you carefully identify whether any specific increases or decreases are unusual or unexpected before you finally include them in a finalized report for the various relevant departments and stakeholders involved. In this prompt, I have defined an input consisting of three segments: subscription, service, and hardware, each with data close to the current week's figures, as well as a baseline week and the number of transactions. So in the final result, you will be able to see the fluctuations in each segment. Any anomalies will be detected, and a follow-up investigation question will be generated for the finance team that recorded these figures, along with a group email table so you can send those alerts to the finance team, for example. After that, Codex will then proceed to, now that we have successfully installed the AgenticFlow CLI on the machine, Codex will automatically perform a check to see and verify whether to determine whether our current COI is in a state of good health or not. Right here, Codex also begins the process of automatically generating the entirely new workflow for us. Thank Thank you so much for watching this video today. We really hope you enjoyed the content and found it useful. Please stay tuned for more updates coming your way soon, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Right here in this section, I am currently setting the configuration to full access mode. Actually, when it comes to creating these specific flow sets through the AgenticFlow CLI system, in my personal opinion, it is really just a routine administrative task. We have already determined and agreed upon the fact that this process doesn't really require too much formal approval or oversight from the management team because it's all contained within AgenticFlow CLI and it will only be created on AgenticFlow only. It also doesn't access much other data on your computer. So I set it to full access to avoid spending too much time reviewing and approving commands. Of course, if you are working with data that requires accessing files on your computer, you need to check carefully because sometimes there are cases where the data on your drive, then depending on the situation, you can choose accordingly. Here, since I feel it's safe, I'll set it to full access. All right, very quickly, in just 4 minutes, our workflow has already been created. And right here in this view, we can clearly see that we have identified a significant anomaly, which is that the total revenue of the service network is currently dropping by 48.31% when compared directly to the usual historical baseline. Following this, then we will have a series of detailed and specific questions for the technical team to investigate and analyze as quickly as possible, or even for a specialized team that is particularly concerned about the services overall revenue segment. Furthermore, we will also send this comprehensive email, this detailed email report, to the entire team as well. Now, at this point, let's return back to the main workflow interface of the Agentex Cloud platform to continue our overview. We can see that this workflow has already been created. You can review it in the results section. And in the history section, you can see the successful run that Codex has tested for us. Similarly, with the results displayed in Codex, we can see that from the input information provided, we get a visual summary table showing the increase or decrease in revenue for each table. And we can also see any anomalies in the summary table just now. There are also suggested questions for us to refer to and a sample email to send to relevant departments, such as finance, for further inquiries. Look further into this anomaly. For example, verify whether the number of transactions is actually correct. Has it been verified correctly yet? Thank you all for watching until the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. We'll read and respond. Once again, thank you and see you next time. Hi, and a very warm welcome back everyone to the AgenticFlow channel and to this ongoing video series on the process of rapidly building and deploying useful workflows or agents on AgenticFlow through AgenticFlow CLI. So today we're also coming back to Ishi, one of our AI agent coding tools in the ecosystem. AgenticFlow, today I will demonstrate and introduce to you a highly efficient prompt that creates a streamlined workflow, which I truly believe will be very useful and beneficial for anyone currently working in the field of customer support. As you can clearly see on the screen right now, this specific prompt is specifically engineered and designed to effectively convert support tickets into resolved cases. In addition to providing very samurai-style content to escalate the ticket to the relevant departments for a final resolution, this tool is incredibly powerful. With this specific ticket, you can easily copy the entire conversation history of a support ticket, and the automated workflow will carefully read and summarize the core issue, accurately guess the customer's current emotion and determine the exact level of urgency required. From there, it will intelligently identify exactly who can resolve the issue, list any missing pieces of information, and draft a professional escalation note as if you're messaging via Slack, Telegram, or even WhatsApp to the relevant people involved. As usual, we've already created this specific Chrome prompt as a helpful idea for you to develop even further. Just press the Enter key and let the platform run so the agent can generate this entire workflow for you automatically. This ensures that every single detail is captured and communicated effectively to the right team members without any manual effort on your part. Once this specific automated workflow has been successfully created, you can actually begin to use it to effectively summarize the core issue of the support ticket simply by looking through the conversation history and the detailed dialogue with the customer. To find out the customer's emotion, the urgency level of the issue, who can be responsible, what information is still missing, and a draft to for escalation purposes, and we can review it before sending it out. Here, EC has outlined the to-dos, specifying what needs to be done. First, of course, Navi, when you are creating a new flow, you will first need to locate and select the most appropriate LLM node for the specific task of summarizing the incoming support ticket. Second, the next step is to go ahead and initiate the creation of a ticket summary escalation with the appropriate nodes. The third step is to test run the workflow, and the fourth step is to display the result on the screen, on the interface. This is how we work with EC. It's actually very quick. So EC has managed to complete up to 4 steps. You can also check the results here, or you can open the AgenticFlow interface and go to the workflow section. You can challenge yourself further. Simply by asking why you could not seem to find it anywhere at all. A little bit earlier, I accidentally went into the wrong session, so you can cross-check and verify to see if the specific session has an ID like this. And here you can cross-check the workspace that has an ID like this. It ends with the number 11,731. This is also a useful experience for us to cross-check when we have multiple workspaces in a project. Now let's try going in and see. As we can clearly see here, 2 distinct nodes have now been successfully created. When considering the initial user input, such as the conversation or the specific ticket we record, How exactly do we go about recording that ticket? First, you copy it here and it goes directly into the input section. Next, we put one of our comprehensive company policies here to provide clear, detailed instructions for this summary table. This ensures that we can accurately assign it to the relevant departments and the specific responsible individuals who need to handle it. It needs to comply with the policy in a certain way. That means what's good about this workflow is that whatever we compile from the ticket to create notes for the summary for the relevant people must depend on the company's policy, for example. And the AI can't figure it out on its own. It has to rely on these instructions. So here, for those of you who are more interested in how the AI connects things and how you can learn from it to create your own cases, like here, where it writes a concise summary in 150 words, which is really useful. You can come in here and edit it to make it fit your own reality, your actual work. You can come in here, try it out, and also review the run history. Here we can see another very important case. It's quite urgent. It clearly has the specific ticket number, the key technical details, several recommended actions, and some missing critical context that we definitely need to ask the customer about for further clarification so we can resolve the issue much more effectively. Thank you all so much for watching until the very end of this video. If you found this video helpful and informative, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. If you have any additional questions or concerns, please feel free to ask in the comments, and I will do my best to answer or clarify things further for you. Once again, thank you for your time and support. Thank you and goodbye, everyone. Hi, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AgenticFlow channel. Today, we're returning to our ongoing series where we show you how to quickly and efficiently create workflows right here on AgenticFlow using the AgenticFlow command line interface, or CLI. We'll be working with these powerful tools, these AI agent coding tools that help you build, automate, and manage workflows more easily. Let's dive in and get started. So today we're back with EC, one of the AI agent coders in the AgenticFlow ecosystem, and I'll introduce a prompt to you. This prompt is very suitable for those of you who are currently managing an office where your office frequently has visitors coming in and out. The process involves thoroughly checking all documents, making identification badges, notifying the host who invited these guests, and ensuring proper security. So this prompt will combine all those steps to synthesize the information. It's for office managers, reception team, security departments, or building operations assistants. I'll temporarily call this prompt the visitor entry passback. When you enter a visitor's registration information into the system, this workflow will carefully check to make sure all the required details are complete and accurate. It will then draft the entry pass content, ensuring everything is correct. Next, the workflow writes a message to the host who invited the visitor, letting them know about the registration status. And finally, it creates a security checklist to make sure all safety protocols are followed. All right, it's actually very simple. Just like before, you just need to copy this prompt and let Ishi run it to create this workflow for you. The final result you'll get is a processing status for any missing information, the full content of the visitor's entry pass, a message for the host, and the complete security checklist. Take a moment to review each part carefully, making sure everything is set up properly before you move on. This way, you can be confident that the workflow is working as expected and all the necessary information is included. With EC, we'll see something quite intuitive, which is the to-do section. This to-do list shows exactly what steps EC will take to create a workflow. So this is just one of the ideas. You can also expand on it by asking EC to connect or guide you in connecting to a file like your Google Sheets file. So you can conveniently store this information in Google Docs or Google Sheets, for example, specifically for data logging purposes. There you can either build the workflow yourself to create the nodes, To get started, you can connect with MCP, who will guide you through each step of the process and answer any questions you might have along the way. Or if you prefer a quicker solution, you can simply ask EC, who is always ready to help you quickly implement your workflow idea and make sure everything is set up just the way you want it. To create automations that help save you time in your work, of course, you'll need to install the AgenticFlow CLI on your machine so that EC can connect with AgenticFlow to run properly. Right here, we can quickly see that the workflow has already been deployed. And now EC will test run this workflow using the sample information we provided in the prompt. All right, so after about 3 minutes and 17 seconds, we can see that EC has finished creating the workflow for us, and it ran successfully. There are 4 nodes. It took 14 seconds for execution, and the model being used is GPT-4o Mini. Currently, Gemini Flash is hitting a rate limit, so we'll check back to see what the issue is. Over here, we can see that we have the information for a customer, a visitor visiting the office with an entry pass and a host notification draft. This information can be sent via email. There's a security checklist to guide the reception team on what they need to do when welcoming this visitor on that day. So we can visit agenticflow.ai and go to the workflow page to see how the workflow was created. As you can see, our workflow is made up of a total of 4 different nodes. Now let me walk you through them. First, we have the step where we validate the visitor fields to make sure all the information is correct. The second step involves drafting an entry pass, and this is done in a text format, so everything is clearly documented. The third is drafting a host notification. You can create this workflow and see the specific steps EC has generated for each node. Honestly, this will save you a lot of time. Next, you can go to the history section to review the successful session from earlier. Using the inputs from the sample prompt we created, it will generate information based on the requirements we set in that prompt. This way, you can clearly see how your inputs are being used and how the results are produced step by step. Okay, well, I think it's quite comprehensive now. This is just one of the ideas. You can further develop this concept to suit your actual work situation, how to apply this workflow, or create other workflows that fit your specific practical needs. Okay, thank you for watching until this point. If you found this helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, just comment below. Once again, thank you all very much. Goodbye and see you again. Hi, welcome back to Agentic Flow channel. Today, we're also returning to the series on quickly creating workflows using Agentic Flow. Quickly create workflows on Agentic Flow through the AI coding agent. Today, I'm back again with Claude Code, and I'm going to introduce you to a prompt that you can also use. This prompt is for anyone can use this prompt, for example, Codex or Easy. Here, this is a prompt that's like a Chrome extension designed to help you send short, inspirational emails, a thought-provoking quote, or a motivational message. It's suitable for those of you who are team managers, managing groups, or really anyone who likes it. It's a positive habit to start your morning by receiving these kinds of messages. All right, it's incredibly straightforward and easy to follow. You just need to take the specific prompt that we have already carefully prepared for you, and then proceed to run the code to see the results. You can use this prompt to send daily motivational emails to your team, your community, or even create newsletters. For a channel that sends personal reminders to the community in Chrome, you just need to choose the topics that you feel the recipient will be interested in. You can enter them into this prompt, or you can fill them into the input later on. Once the workflow is created, it will return the email content and subject line. As you look closely at the screen, you can clearly see the extensive list of songs available, featuring a wide variety of genres and artists neatly organized within the music library for your browsing convenience. You can easily organize and enjoy all of these favorite tracks right inside of your very own personal music playlists whenever you want to listen to them. It's also exceptionally fast and efficient. After the system thoroughly tests and meticulously checks the current status of the integration flow to see if it's working with us, it will proceed to find the most suitable and effective structural framework to create this workflow in Bamboo. This includes carefully determining exactly which nodes to use, which specific LLMs to assign to those nodes, and then generating a complete functional workflow to perform a comprehensive initial test run to see what the final results are. At this point, there will be a step where an email will be sent out to the recipient. In this case, I have used my company's email to connect and integrate it into this workflow. Here, we can understand that a workflow will be created, which will have nodes. One node to prepare the email content and another node to send the email. The workflow will have a section where you can schedule this workflow to run at a specific time of day so that it can repeatedly send emails regularly to group emails, to students, or simply to your own email. We truly appreciate you watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. At this point, the COD system will begin to deploy this workflow now. All right, the workflow has been deployed. Now let's try running it. Let's test it with the input I shared earlier in the prompt. You can completely modify the input as you wish. I'll send this email right away. Ah, as we can clearly see here, the nodes have already been successfully executed. When I take a moment to check my phone, I can also see that the email has arrived. One of the emails has already received this email. On this screen, you'll see the verse of the day reflection and a special section called the Assault Prayer. Now let's see if the content I received matches what's shown here. This is a brief passage explaining the concept of the Assault Prayer within the game. Now let's go back to the main project workflow interface and take a closer look at exactly what our current workflow looks like right now. There's a node that this system automatically creates the necessary information for the outgoing emails and sends them out. You can manually enter these two specific pieces of information right here, or you can also choose to use the comprehensive data extraction feature, which now includes a helpful scaling option, C. Furthermore, this particular column is scheduled to run once every 3 days to ensure everything stays updated. Or you could set it to run every 3 hours, for example. You can select multiple. There is a wide variety of different tools that you can choose from, and you can configure the system to automatically run at recurring intervals, such as every single day at exactly 8 p.m. in the evening, for instance. At this point, it will need to match with your local time. This is something we've encountered before. You can also go to the history section to review the results of the script that just ran successfully, to see what the outcome was and how it appears on Google Sheets. Of course, you should also check your email to see if you received it. After that, you can send it out to many other emails at once. If you've watched until the end of the video and found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. We'll read and respond. Once again, I would like to say thank you and goodbye for now. See you all in the very next video updates. Hi there, and a warm hello to everyone tuning in. Welcome back to the AgenticFlow channel. Today we are excited to be returning to our ongoing series focused on the art of quickly creating complex workflow flows by utilizing AgenticFlow CLI combined with advanced AI agent coding techniques. So far in this journey, we have already taken a deep dive into exploring some powerful AI agent coding tools, such as Codes and Claude Code. For today's session, I am thrilled to introduce you to a new method using the blueprint prompt to quickly create your workflow flows directly on the EC platform. Let's get started and see how this can transform your development process. EC is also an AI agent coding tool that belongs to the AgenticFlow ecosystem. All right, as you can see here, today I will introduce to you a workflow called Learning Content Curator. So, just as we have done in our previous videos, you simply need to copy this specific prompt and then press Enter to begin. This will allow your PC to automatically build your entire workflow on the AsyncFlow platform by utilizing the AsyncFlow CLI system. You can observe almost instantaneously that after running this specific prompt, a comprehensive to-do board is automatically generated and fully populated, providing a clear visualization of every individual step that EC will carry out during the process. So this workflow will help you in situations where you need to learn some content or about a certain topic that you don't know where to start. And when you go to search engines like Google, you end up having to sift through a lot of links, but not knowing which one to start with or how to go about it. Here, this Chrome extension, I'll paste it here for you to see. In this specific section, this comprehensive workflow will feature several distinct input sections for you to configure. First, you need to specify the exact learning topic you are interested in studying. For instance, in this particular case, we are focusing on agent workflow design specifically tailored for operation teams. And secondly, it is important to define the target audience, which consists of operation managers who currently only possess experience with basic no-code automation tools and are considered very new to the complexities of advanced agent workflow design. Once the system has been fully deployed and activated, it will carefully take information from three distinct and comprehensive resources and generate a highly personalized and structured learning plan for a 7-day learning process. There will be key concepts included, along with various practical exercises designed to effectively bridge any existing gaps in your current knowledge base. For example, the topic is agentic workflow. For this operation team, that's it. So here, since I have already previously run a trial of this pro version, so EC will start searching again for information files about the blueprint, about how to build and so on first. But if this is your first time running it, it will launch the AgenticFlow CLI skill and start creating a workflow based on our input. Here I am using Opus 4.6 from Cloud as the model. You can also choose from many options here. Go to the model selection section and choose management. For the model, it will display a list where you can choose based on the provider. For example, PixelML will use PixelML credits, and AgenticFlow will use AgenticFlow credits. You can easily check to open or select this specific option right here, so that the system will automatically display the full comprehensive list of models on the outside for you to browse and choose from. It is also a very quick and efficient way to manage your workflow. The workflow has already been created and is currently being tested. Here it has used the Lipschitz Phi 3 model to run. I'll delete this to make some space so we can see more clearly. There are also some customers who already have EC Pro. Please note that you should first connect EC with the API key of both AgenticFlow and PixelML so that you can use these two types of credits depending on your needs. That's all you need to do, and then you can run this base model. Of course, the prerequisite is that you must install AgenticFlow CLI on your machine to use it, and use it through AI coding agent tools like EC to quickly create prompts on the workflow. As you can see, it looks like in this workflow, EC has created 2 nodes for me. The first node has finished running, but the second node hasn't finished yet. Let's just wait a bit. Here, there is a data retrieval node, and I guess there is also a node that uses the DeepShip v3 model. After you finish creating this workflow, you can absolutely go back to the workflow and change it if you want, switching to other models like Gemini 2.0 or any other model you prefer. At this stage, we can clearly see that Ketudu has successfully completed all 5 of the necessary sequential steps. And as a result, it will provide us with the comprehensive data and specific information we need regarding the QA resource JSON structure. There will be a detailed reference JSON file available for you to meticulously review at your convenience. But I believe what you should really focus your attention on is the outcome section, particularly the key concepts and the practical exercises provided therein. Regarding the information that learners can use to fill in their knowledge gaps, now I will switch to the AgenticFlow CLI screen for us to take a look. You will notice 2 important notes displayed here. First, there is a specialized Chrome extension designed to fetch detailed topic information and audience data directly from our user input section, which is then used to generate the specific content we require. For version 3 of the platform, you also have the flexibility to change it. You can simply come to this section and select again to display a full list for you to choose your preferred model. Please keep in mind that this specific model will consume your AgenticFlow credits rather than your Pixel email credits. Additionally, you can obtain a structured JSON output here, depending on your specific technical needs, as some users find this JSON format very helpful for integration. Now let's take a closer look at the history section. So in this area, there is a successfully completed run, and you can clearly see that our initial input was Iontic. When you are performing a single run, you can click right here to execute the process, providing these necessary inputs so the entire workload can run smoothly to completion. Here is the result. Here we can see that in this evaluation, it will automatically divide into multiple lessons. With these multiple lessons, there will be corresponding UI elements. And what exactly is the point here? Why do we need to spend time and effort? And how much time is required for each step? All of this will be explained in more detail. If you find this helpful and interesting, please consider subscribing or giving me a like. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I will read them and may reply, either on Facebook or by adding more features. Thank you all for watching up to this moment. Once again, thank you and goodbye to everyone. Hi everyone, and welcome back once again to the AgenticFlow channel. We're also returning to our ongoing series on quickly and efficiently creating workflows using the AgenticFlow command line interface, or CLI. Today, we're back once again with an AI agent coding tool known as Claude Code, which in this case, I'm currently running directly through Visual Studio Code, the popular code editor. So this right here is the prompt that I'm working with at the moment. He is used to prepare detailed and comprehensive reports for your entire sales team. At the end of each week, sales managers need to know exactly who the top sellers are within the team, who is consistently generating the most revenue, who is leading and excelling in key performance indicator targets, whether the team as a whole is successfully hitting their established goals, and who among the team members might need some extra encouragement, support, or perhaps just a gentle reminder to help them stay on track and motivated. This information is essential for making well-informed decisions and supporting the ongoing success of the sales department. This prompt will take what might look like a messy, overwhelming pile of sales data and transform it into a clear, easy to understand picture, all in a very short amount of time. It has been specifically designed with sales managers, team leads, and anyone working within the sales department in mind. Basically, it is perfect for any of your sales management teams, whether large or small. When you decide to run this prompt, what will happen is that we will automatically deploy a comprehensive sales leaderboard blueprint for you. So you just input the list of deals from your sales team. Then the workflow will summarize and analyze everyone's performance, create a ranking, and write a team update. The update will have a motivational tone that's very straightforward. There's no sugarcoating or exaggeration here, just very direct words of encouragement. It's very simple. You just need to run this prompt on Claude Code. You can also run this prompt on Ishi or Codex, both work fine. This prompt provides details on every deal your sales team has closed, including the total value and the specific type of each deal. It also covers the reporting period as well as the goals set for the team. You'll get a summary of all that information, plus the team's current progress and notes for training and coaching each individual on the sales team. Everything will be drafted as a message template to be pasted onto Slack or Telegram. You can use it right away to message each person, or you can review and edit it as you wish. Here we can see that Claude has started running the workflow. It's begun creating the workflow for a test run. You can definitely use this prompt on Cursor Code as well. Depending on the particular AI coding agent you have, you can also use it on Cursor, or even E2B, one of the AI coding agents that we have within the AgenticFlow ecosystem. After working on creating the workflow for a little while, here we are. The workflow has now been run again to validate it once more. It looks like the workflow has run successfully. Now let's take a moment to see how, let's see how Claude is going to display the results for us. Okay, the workflow has been successfully deployed and run, and everything is looking great so far. Here, we can see a helpful summary of the revenue as well as the closed deals. We have a leaderboard showing who's currently at the top. There's a team progress indicator currently at 65%. There are messages here to contact everyone very directly. And there's an action item for each member of the team. Now let's go back to the workflow to see how it's displayed there. We have a sales leaderboard coach workflow. Here on this screen, you can see how Claude created this particular node. You can also choose from other available models by clicking here, which will bring up a list of models for us to select from. Then we can see the user input and the lines of sales data information displayed. Here, there's a team context, such as the team's target and the reporting time, or the tone of voice for when we send Slack messages later, right? So we can draft those messages with a specific tone of voice. We can go in here to run a test, and we can go to history to review the session that Claude Code just finished running. This is the leaderboard for this JSON version. You can use this information for reporting, or there are Slack messages that can be sent to our team. Okay, if you find this video useful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, please comment below and we'll read and reply. Once again, goodbye and see you later.